Ladies and gentlemen, politics is dangerous and politics is dirty. And today, imekuwa kali sana. And only two things can explain it for me. Either, number one, King Charles didn't want to meet with Rigathi Gahachagua, or he didn't want to share an environment with Rigathi Gahachagua. And therefore, plans had to be crafted to keep Rigathi Gahachagua away. And that can explain why William Ruto ensured that Rigathi Gahachagua was out of the country for a week, and by the time Rigathi Gahachagua was landing in the country, he could not catch up with the events for today. Or number two, William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, just decided to lock Rigathi Gahachagua out of this event. And if that's the case, I did an analysis which you can watch in case you missed it. Raila Odinga attended State House event. Personally, I was surprised to see Raila Odinga there, because what I can remember was that Raila Odinga was actually out of the country. Then from nowhere, this video started coming. Let me just show you the video on the screen. Then from nowhere, Raila Odinga was seen entering State House. The cameraman focused on him. Then Raila Odinga went, and he could be seen talking to Alfred Mutua, the former Minister for Foreign Affairs, and also the UDA Secretary General, Cleophas Malala. And of course, Raila Odinga was accompanied by Opiyo Wandayi, who is a member of the bipartisan team, and also the minority leader in the National Assembly. The three could be seen just somewhere talking. Then Rayo Molo, the Principal Secretary for Interior, at some point also came and greeted Raila Odinga. And at this point, I asked myself, where was Rigathi Gahachagua? Then it occurred to me that Rigathi Gahachagua was actually not present here. Then I gathered that Rigathi Gahachagua had arrived 20 minutes earlier, which was a bit late for this event, because he had to go back, change, or maybe he knew he was an unwanted guest here. So in this video, I want to explain to you guys the presence of Raila Odinga at this event, what it means. Because let's face it, there is no way Raila Odinga would have just attended this event without, number one, invitation, number two, clearance. So who invited Raila Odinga to this event? Of course, you can argue that maybe the British government invited Raila Odinga, because of course I saw their ambassador some weeks ago at Raila Odinga's office. But entrance to State House is controlled, which means Raila Odinga was invited to State House by none other than William Samoei Ruto. And the fact that Raila Odinga was also given that opportunity to meet with the chief, with the king, also says a lot. Like at this point, you can see Raila Odinga with the king, King Charles, and they are greeting each other there. Ruto is standing next to them, and you can see Raila and the king are actually in very happy moods. They are discussing serious matters for there. Maybe they are just introducing themselves. Maybe, the king is 74, Raila is 78, so they are age mates. Maybe there are certain things they're discussing. And then you can see they've finished now, William Ruto escorting them. For me, that encounter would not have been possible if Raila Odinga's appearance in this meeting was not approved by the president and by the king handlers. So what can we read about that particular incident where Raila Odinga was present here? Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in, and at the same time, let me thank those two individuals. You are seeing their names there for the coffee which I've just received. Thank you so much. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this question. Let's just discuss it. Maybe you could also give me your idea. Do you think Rigathi Gahachagua didn't know what was happening? He didn't suspect. Of course, I know that for Raila Odinga invitation, maybe it was kept away from him. Maybe for that. But the fact that he was going to come into the country when this event is done, do you think he was not aware? And that raises the question about Rigathi Gachagua's frustrations in government. Is it possible that his office was not even involved in the organization of this particular visit? Because according to Kenyan Constitution, the deputy president is the principal assistant to the president, which means at every stage where the president is involved, Rigathi Gachagua should be involved at some point. But let us not get into that for now. Maybe we'll do another video for that. For now, I want us to focus on the presence of Raila Odinga in this meeting. Number one, if you ask me, I think a silent handshake between Raila Odinga and William Ruto has already taken place. And just like Kanini Kega revealed the other day, it has already taken place, but at night. That the one for Uhuru and Raila took place during the day, and that's why people knew about it. So I want to advise some few individuals, especially those who work with Ruto and those who are from my region, Luo Nyanza. They need to start aligning themselves well. Because Ruto and Raila, as much as you will not see them publicly, they are working together. That can explain that invitation. Because I'm sure that this could be the first State House visit Raila Odinga attended. The other time he was also was it at State House? But I think this was now the first major event. Remember, in an ideal situation, if things had gone the way as me wanted, Raila Odinga would have been the one welcoming Ruto or introducing Ruto to the king as the president. But vitu vichenjaga. So that's now water under the bridge. Ruto is now the president. So basically, it tells you that handshake probably has taken place. Number two, in my view, I think the presence of Raila Odinga here is basically to cement the bipartisan talks. The faces behind the bipartisan talks are now coming out. When Raila and Uhuru had that handshake, there was that prayer meeting where individuals from the United States of America were present, and it was intended to send those messages. Again, now for this, I think the truth is Raila Odinga is not the president of the Republic of Kenya today because of two main superpowers, the United States of America and the British government. And I've always explained here that there was no way the British government and the United States of America were going to allow Raila Odinga to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. But there's also no way they are going to allow Ruto to just rule without a strong opposition. So the superpowers are the forces behind the bipartisan talks. So I want to assume that when Raila and the king were talking, They were talking about that bipartisan talks. That is what I am thinking. So for me, we are now witnessing the forces behind the bipartisan talks. For Raila Odinga to appear here, it means Raila Odinga is now recognizing William Ruto as the president of the Republic of Kenya. That was one of the conditions which William Ruto and UDA had actually placed on the table for Azimio, and Kenya Kwanza placed on the table for that matter. That for us to talk, Ruto must be recognized as the president. Number three, it could also be just Raila Odinga is a big name. That Raila Odinga is not just an ordinary Kenyan who can be ignored. That his standing in the society cannot be ignored. And that's why the presence of the king could not have been complete without meeting with Raila Amolo Odinga. I want to assume that. And lastly, we are also going to start witnessing serious political dynamics moving forward. A lot of movements we are going to witness. I'm 100% sure after this event tomorrow, Moses Kuria will have to write for us something on Twitter. I'm sure about that. I'm sure after this, some leaders from the mountain will say something about Rigathi Gahachagua being frustrated. And of course, Rigathi Gahachagua being a truthful man will also not sit pretty. Rigathi Gahachagua will also tell us something. And let me conclude by pointing out what Ruto concluded with. The issue of the kingpinship. Who was he referring to? Some people are saying he was referring to Raila as the kingpin of the Luos. He was referring to, I don't know. If you ask me, the region where the issue of kingpinship is being discussed currently is in the mountain. Who is going to be the next Mount Kenya kingpin? Rigathi Gahachagua, Maina Njenga, Uhuru Kenyatta. That's where the discussion about kingpin is taking place. So who was he addressing? Your guess is as good as mine, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, this is your man, Lee Makwiny. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And in case you enjoyed the video up to this stage, just know from the bottom of my heart that I really value the time you placed in watching the video, and just let me know in the comment section by typing Lee, I watched up to this stage. I'll be able to know and respond directly to you. Bye bye for now.